Yeah, it's a sexy episode, everybody.
Damn!
You're probably thinking, what in the world does that even mean?
Well, the word doozy means something that is extraordinary or outstanding of its kind, Kirk.
And we are not that.
But do we want to be?
Oh boy, that's right. So this is a podcast that we are going to give you all the tools that you need to help you become successful in life.
And here's the best part.
Uh-huh.
We're going to learn how to be successful while we also teach you how to be successful.
Makes sense to me.
Okay. I'm Alex Staub.
And I am Kirk Koz. Welcome, everybody.
Welcome.
Alex, what are we going to talk about today?
Oh, today's a very special episode. Today we are going to learn how to strip club.
Ooh.
Bam, 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 bam.
Ooh, scandalous. I like it.
Woo!
Strip club.
Make it rain, baby. Make it rain.
No.
Oh, yeah. But not only is that just a special topic, we also have a very special guest here who is going to teach us how to strip club.
Yes.
You may know her on social media as LilithRising. She's got 4.5 million likes on Tik Tok.
Hey, yo.
She's with us here via Zoom right now. Natalie Young, everybody.
Woo! Welcome.
Hi.
Hello.
Clapping. Hi, what's up?
Welcome.
How's it going?
Terrible. You know, pandemic and stuff. No, just kidding.
Okay.
Things are great.
Well, let me ask first. Kirk, have you ever been to a strip club?
You know, I can count on one hand the amount of times I've been to a strip club. I have been.
Okay.
Yeah. How
Okay.
about you?
I could count on. It would surpass my fingers and toes for sure.
Oh yeah.
For
Nice.
sure. Yeah,
Well-
exactly. Actually, how I met Natalie was
Yeah.
in Arizona at a strip club. And I think I was there, a couple times a week. I don't know.
I love
I think I could count like on all my hands and fingers the amount of times probably.
Yeah, how many times we've seen each other? Yeah, absolutely.
I think me personally could like count like that amount and then you can go from there. But
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So what about you? Tell us how you.
How did you
How'd you get into?
How did you get
everything?
into
Everything strip club?
how does one get into this job?
Yeah.
How does one do that?
Well, because when I met you, you were a waitress at first there at the place, right?
Yeah, I was really shy at first. Yeah, exactly. I was really trying to like get into it slowly. You know, I didn't just show up and be like, I'm a dancer now. Like I was like hiding in the back kind of. I would serve drinks and stuff and give dances, but I didn't want anyone to see me actually dance and like laugh at me. Is what was happening. I was like, I'm gonna hide from the other dancers. I don't want customers to see me dance. I'm just gonna dance in the back. So it took me like 6 months to actually get on stage and go full dancer. But
Yeah.
That's and
was that the ultimate goal?
Yeah, how long ago was it that you made the transition that like this is what I want to do? Like and you became a
I think like a little over a year and a half ago. So I'm a pretty new stripper, like, you know.
Did you start off as go into it as like, oh, I'll be a waitress, make a little money like that, and then you were like, oh, you know what, maybe I'll do more? Or were you like, all right, I want to be a stripper, but I want to, I was shy at first, so I had to progress.
So in the back of my mind all throughout college, I was like, be a stripper. Like it was always there, and I think it's there for a lot of girls, like this little bug in your head that's like, go do it, go be a stripper right now. Just,
Okay.
Because it's just such a great money-making opportunity. So I would like watch videos online about strippers in Atlanta. I'd be like, that's pretty clutch. I mean, that would be nice.
Yeah.
But I never, acted on it because people don't see themselves in a certain way. Right. So it took that transition. So it was always in the back of my mind, but I was more like a straight edge girl, like getting A's in school. I was a coder, developer by day, you know what I mean? Like I was trying to like live the normal life. And then that didn't work out for a lot of reasons. So I just kind of, went dark and not actually, but I just kind of like was like, I'm a nighttime girl now. I'm gonna be.
Gotcha.
Natalie, was there a moment when you decided to move forward with this, and this was something that you were passionate about, and you were making good money on it, that you were like, oh, I'm like really surprised, I'm really good at this, or like, wow, this is helping me do this or this in my life? Do you have like examples of things that it's like it's better your like day to day?
Definitely. There were moments where I was like, oh, I'm good at this. And like, not everyone is good at this. You know what I mean? And there were moments, there were moments where I like, that's when I realized I liked comedy and I liked the more entertainment side of life. And I never saw myself in that way because it's not really traditionally like what I was brought up to do. I was like brought up in a Christian family, like very repressed, whatever, But there was a moment where a manager was like, oh yeah, you're a top earner. And I was like, oh, what? And he was like,
Nice.
you bring in the dough, girly. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I just kind of have this entrepreneurial side of myself, like this hustler side that's always been there, no matter what. Like that's like the core of my being, I feel. So it just kind of all locked in, and I was like, no going back, you know what I mean? So when I decided no going back, I was like, oh, I'm gonna make a brand out of this. I'm gonna like, be an activist about this. I'm gonna go all in.
Yeah. And I do have to take a quick moment to shout out some of your TikToks. Are you mentioned comedy, and Staub was telling me earlier that you guys kind of connected through like improv and comedy, and it's really, really cool to like watch your stuff because you're bringing education but also humor to it.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the same thing that we're trying to do with our stuff,
That transitions us to this question here.
Exactly.
When was it when you were like, oh my God, I just blew up on TikTok?
Yeah.
It was when I did that like video kind of, when I tell people, I'm like, I make funny TikToks and that's what you see now, but the way I blew up was flexing cash, if I'm being honest.
Nice.
And the funny part, it was like in February or something, but the funny part about that is I'll do these TikToks where I flex cash, and it's kind of like, yeah, stop talking shit about strippers because like, look what we do. This is awesome. That's like the whole point of it. And also being an asshole and flexing cash.
Yeah. Right. Gotta show the cash.
If you got it,
it's all about the cash, yeah.
All about the cash, baby.
But no, these girls, like, who are far richer than me, far more successful, far better strippers, started taking my audios and then doing it again and again. And so these, like, really, really rich girls, like bad baddies, would do it. And they would have, like, millions of dollars worth of stuff, and it would be like, holy cow, like I started something but people took it and ran with it, like
that's so
far. Very far from where I was. But
and then you being the improv, the comedy side of you, you started just doing like your own original skits from like experiences you had during like in the strip clubs. And those just kind of blew up too. So you got to
so awesome.
do what you were good at, and then also still stuck to your creative roots that way. So that's awesome.
That's amazing.
I was able to transition.
Yeah,
I'm really excited. I'm so. Are you ready to jump in?
Are you ready to jump in?
I'm ready to learn. I'm so engaged. I'm like really, really interested to learn more about this because I'm not You got a frequenter and somebody who's not.
Let me ask this. So how are the strip clubs now?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, with the way the world is.
Is it like a drive-through thing? That's what I've heard. It's like a drive-through strip club where like everyone wears masks and they come up to the windows of your car or something like that.
I can't say too much about it. Wink.
Okay.
Absolutely respect that.
Some are acting as they normally would. Like nothing's changed and just being kind of careful. And then some are literally, they're like 6 feet away, sit over here. Well, the customer will sit over here. They'll do an air dance 6 feet in front of you.
Okay.
So you're paying $25 for a VIP air dance. And
hey, how much for an air dance?
Can I have
your best air dancer?
Some guys probably love the air dance, They're just happy. They're just happy to watch. Yeah. All right,
Let's do this.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm
to
ready.
jump in there.
These are the top 5 tips. How to strip club.
How
Let's
to strip
do
club.
it.
The top 5 tips here by Miss Natalie Young. Here we go.
Boom.
Number 5. Bring enough money to get a couple dances, tip on stage, or both. It is disrespectful, entitled, and creepy to just go into a club, enjoy the view, and not pay anything. And as much as people act like it, we're not doing this job only because we enjoy it. It's for the money.
Money,
for the money, for show. If you're broken, if you're broken and have no money, don't go to the strip club. You're embarrassing yourself, your ancestors, and the strippers.
Your ancestors
Your
are rolling in their
ancestors are
graves.
rolling over in their graves.
What are you
right now.
doing, Kirk?
Why would you? I raised you right. You don't go to the strip club with no money.
Our people don't go to the strip club unless you can tip on stage and get an air dance.
Exactly. And that's definitely a line you need to use in the club too. Just be like, he's like, I don't have money for a dance. Just get real close and just be like, your ancestors. Like, just, and they're
So
like, grandmama?
upset with you.
What? So is that a common thing where guys go in and they just have no money?
Yeah, very common. Very common. We bully them for that.
Of course. I mean, it seems like it makes total sense. If you're there, you should be there to do the thing that the services offer. Mm-hmm. I totally get that. It's creepy if you just walk in and you're just gawking, because it's almost like you should be paying just for that, because this is a very, very special profession that I think those people just are people who just not respectful of it, probably.
Yeah, it's literally like going into a restaurant, eating a full meal, and then them giving you the check, and you're like, oh, I don't have enough. I don't have any money for this. Stupid.
Yeah.
You're stupid, right? Or you're at the grocery store and you load up your grocery carriage, and then you're in line, and then when they check through all the things, and they're just like, ooh, yeah, give me this, give me those, give me that, and they're like, all right, here's your bill, and you're like,
and then out of nowhere, it's weird. The grocery bagger says, Your
ancestors
are rolling in their graves. Did they treat you like this? You can't buy groceries?
How dare your ancestors.
I bet you don't even pay or go into strip clubs with money.
Yeah, disgusting. Disrespectful.
Disgusting.
Yeah, bring money to a strip club, idiot.
There's a reason why you're there.
Yeah.
You know?
Have you ever had you got a story where some guy came in and just literally tried to get away with having
just
no
being
money
there
for something? Or
Oh, guys, it happens all the time.
like too frequently?
Every night there's someone who comes in who doesn't have money.
So you do the dance first, right? And then you ask for the money, or do you ask for it up front, or?
Oh, it's more like you'll go up to them and they'll just kind of be there, and you'll talk to them a little bit, see if they want to dance, if they're going to tip on stage, whatever. And they're like, oh, I'm not getting dances tonight. And they just don't spend like anything. They just sit and watch like in the corner.
Do they buy drinks or anything?
Because
like
aren't
that?
there
they buy Red Bull.
Okay, because there's like a minimum of drinks probably, right?
Right.
Yeah, you have to cover. Yeah, the cover charge and drinks.
Yo, if you're that guy going into the strip club and buying like a Diet Pepsi and just sitting there and doing nothing, get out.
Get out of there.
Get out of there, you asshole.
This is not like Netflix in your living room.
You're not in your living room.
You're not in your...
Go home and watch some porn,
You're
okay?
not in your living room watching Skinamax.
Right.
Your
ancestors are
rolling in their grave.
They're rolling. Your ancestors. Dear God. This is stupid, but when I hear like the whole ancestors thing, I think of that scene in Mulan when all of her ancestors come back to life and they're like giving her shit and whatnot.
Yes. They're
I'm
pissed.
picturing like the ghosts of ancestors coming walking through the club like, get out.
Come on, dude.
Get out.
Come on.
Get
one
out.
Of, one of the ghosts
Steven.
is like. One of the ghosts is getting a dance.
One of the ghosts is getting a dance. And they're paying with ghost money. At least they have money.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
right.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Let's move on. Have money.
Have money, guys.
God.
Number 4, if you buy a VIP dance, always tip the dancer. Even if you thought the dance was terrible, the club takes fees out of that dance. By tipping, you're both being a good dude by making up for those fees, and just being a polite person who's appreciative of the naked girl who just did services of a sexual nature for you. Yeah. Tip
and pay money.
Tip.
You know, this is the
This
thing.
tip is about tipping.
I know. I've like gone to the strip club with so many people who, when you walk in, they literally think that they can do whatever they want, and they don't have to pay for things, and the girls are there for them, and it's
Like scum of the earth.
Yeah,
people.
exactly. Like you should be happy that they showed up, and they don't have to pay for anything. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's stupid.
It's a lot of people. Like it really like lowered the standard for me for most people.
Yeah. So for the people who haven't been to a strip club, what's the difference between like a dance or like a stage dance or like a VIP dance?
Okay, so stage dance is the girl's on stage and she's doing pole tricks or she's doing what we call floor work. And so she'll be like in front of you, rolling around, doing her thing. A VIP dance is she'll come up to you, talk to you, and then ask, do you want to dance in back or here? Some places let you dance on the floor, and then some it's like you need to take them to the VIP room. There's usually a lot of options, a lot of price options. There may or may not be touching allowed in the VIP room. So it's like dependent on the club, and every club is completely different, but that's basically like what it is.
Right. Okay. So the VIP room is like and so the tipping in general is just tip.
It's like a customary
tip in general.
thing.
Yeah. If you like the dances, you're paying for the dances, and then to tip them is just completely different. And if they're doing a great job, give them a tip. Give them their money. You Diet Pepsi drinking ancestor
ruiner,
Red Bull sucking loser.
Strip club, not the place to be stingy. Not the place.
Yeah, don't be stingy.
I think this is a problem
You don't go there to save money.
No.
I think
Are you worried about saving money, bro? Leave.
Yeah,
exactly.
It feels like this is a cultural problem with a lot of people, either where they grew up or what country they grew up with tipping. Some people are just like, the check is the check, or they think like what they're paying for is included, and that's just not the case, especially in America. You know, it's in by no comparison to what you do, but like I mean, working in hospitality for a few years, it's like if you get a shitty tip, it's like I was servicing you for a freaking an hour and a half.
Yeah,
you're giving me $5 on like a $200 check. You know, it's like
Yeah, I have so much disrespect for bad tippers.
Yeah. Oh, I can only imagine.
Oh yeah.
Because they have disrespect for people in general.
And I'm sure it's like, correct me if I'm wrong. In at the club, like if you're unsatisfied with that, do you speak up? Do you find yourself speaking up? Yeah.
I used to be kind of shy, but it's worn off over time. Like it's not a thing anymore. But I'll ask, could I have my dance plus tip? And then if they're one of those guys who's like, oh, $35 plus tip, and then they get out their 20 and then they count out $15, I'm like, would you like to tip? And if they don't, then I'm like, wow, that is lame. Ooh. Please leave. I usually call them lame, or I'm just like, oh, okay, dude, like, that's not cool.
Yeah, exactly.
That isn't.
There's one TikTok you have that I thought was really funny. It was you were like doing the like two different characters of like a guy and then you, and he was like, oh, like why don't you come home with me? You know, or whatever. I'll take you away from here. You know, like how come you don't want to like hang out with me after this? And you straight up were like, cause you're ugly. Cause you're ugly. That's why. You know. You've probably heard of like they're like, oh, my private helicopter's on the roof. Like, let's get out of here.
Oh,
like,
I cannot even
like
imagine the sleaziness.
It's probably really funny. There's probably plenty of guys who come in and they like act like they're about to spend so much money, and then they like get the Red Bull and then they leave.
No, for real.
Yeah.
It's the guys with the biggest like egos who are usually like, oh no, my dollar.
Yeah.
Can I have my dollar back? No.
Yeah. What's the biggest like freak out you've seen of like some guy getting offended because he didn't want to pay or anything?
Biggest freak out.
Yeah.
There hasn't really been a freak out. There's been like
just more like how do they like
put up a
usually
fuss
react?
or
Yeah.
something or
like, oh, okay, well, I'll tell you how we bully them into tipping us if they don't. So if they ask us for if they ask for change, I go, why? And they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, that's pretty lame. This is a strip club. And then they're like, oh, you're right, it is. Shit.
Yep.
And then they give me the money. Or like my friend will be like, I'm just kind of embarrassed for you. Like, my secondhand embarrassment is like really intense right now.
Yeah, just attack their ego a little bit, and then they'll probably most guys will just cripple because they're they're already in, they walk through and they're already like, oh my god, looking around, but
or a vet stripper, she goes like, I read this online, she was like, well, if that's not in your budget, then I totally understand.
It's totally in my budget. I'm a big man. It's in my budget. I can swing that.
I have so much
money.
money.
I can swing that. It's in my, what do you mean it's not my? I'm here, aren't I?
Listen, let me buy you a Diet Coke.
Come on, let me get you a Diet Coke. Okay. No ice. They charge for ice. Yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like it. It's like remind them why they're here. Hey.
They go there to feel more masculine, and you guys end up tearing them down. They're like, oh, what's going on? That's great.
Yeah. They usually don't freak out, or if they don't tip a lot, they'll just be kind of like, like give you a little look.
Yeah.
That wasn't what I wanted.
Right.
They don't freak out usually.
Got so many questions here, but.
What's like there's got to be like a fun game that you and the other girls play when like you're like out at like, having like a normal night or something, or like say you get bored and you want to like mess with some of the customers. Like what are some of the games that you do?
Ooh. Like just question. Messing with them?
That was a good question.
Yeah.
That's a good question. No, that's
shenanigans, work shenanigans.
Or is that too exposing?
No, we can revisit it if you want, and you can think about it.
I mean, there's a lot of lying that happens, definitely. There's a lot of, like, pretending that, like, I'll pretend I'm in college, obviously. That one.
Right. Well, well, that's the whole fun of it. You can, like, you have a whole different name. You're wearing a wig.
Character.
You're a whole different person. Yeah, exactly. And you're like, they're like, oh, yeah, I'm in architecture. You're like, oh, I'm in architecture, too. Wow. You know what I mean? Oh, wow. And then he likes you, and then he's paying for those VIP dances. Yeah.
Nice.
That's how you sell them, right?
Point of something similar. But honestly, I'm trying to think. Oh, we don't really play games, but if there are frat boys there who aren't tipping at all, they're the worst, by the way. Frat boys are the worst. They're not tipping at all. They're not buying dances. Then we'll just, on the stage, we'll go up to them and be like, ran out of daddy's money, huh?
Oh, no, I didn't. No, I didn't.
They're like, Shag, get out.
No way. I'll call my dad right now.
He'll wire it.
Yeah, he'll wire it. My dad could buy this club.
I actually bullied a whole stage of like 8 guys off.
Nice.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
But yeah, we'll if people aren't tipping, we'll say things like that to get them to leave, because now that COVID's a thing, like the capacity is so low that you have to like have a good turnaround if you're gonna make money. And if no one's tipping, then it's like, all right, can you guys get out? So that
Yeah, right. Yeah, because it's
Of
so
course, there are
limited. Yeah.
only so many people in at one time.
All right, well, let's keep moving on here. Tip number 3.
Top 3, everybody.
Don't throw all social convention out the window as soon as you walk into a strip club. Use common human decency and treat the strippers like humans. Ask questions that you would ask someone you respect on a human level. People tend to think because the boundaries of life are blurred by naked women that they can say whatever the F they want and do whatever they want, but you can't. And it's not cute, okay? It makes you look like an 18-year-old who's just learning how to talk when you ask weird, insulting questions. Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Totally
maybe
true.
100% of the guys, and I've been victim to this too. I've been victim to this too. You when you walk into a strip club, you literally feel like you're like, I'm in a different dimension right now.
This is a different timeline.
I can do whatever I want, say what I want, and then you're
the
like,
underworld.
I'm in the underworld right now, right? Yeah, and I'll walk in and girls will be like, "Oh, hey," and I'll be like, "Yeah, what up?" But now I'm, you know,
I just said, hey.
It's different now, right? But before, when I first went into a strip club, my first time, I wouldn't even like. They'd be like, "Oh, do you want to dance?" And I'd be like, I'd be like seeing like it would be like seeing like a deer in the woods or something like that, and I'd be like, wouldn't want to like move, but I would just be like, oh my god, what's going on here? Just very like, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't want to. What am I? What do I say the right thing or whatever? And they're like, oh,
Sir, are you okay?
If it's sir, are you okay? Yeah. And then it turned into like, I'm in love with everyone here. I want to marry. I'm in love with you. And they're like, hey, how you doing? I'm like,
And it's like, will you marry me?
yes. Yes.
I think Alex is getting hitched to like 5 Tucson strippers at this point, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no, I had a good time in Tucson. I did. I definitely did. And then, but the problem with that was, I was there so many times that like I had favorites and they liked me and whatever. And when I kind of didn't give them enough attention, they would get mad at me and start like shitting on me to like the other girls, and then I was like, all right, I gotta find a new place now. I'm not. But most of the time, they were really cool, and like obviously I'd buy dances and stuff, but sometimes, I just knew the girls there, and they would be like, it's like it sounds so like I was just there every night chilling, but like. But a lot of the time, like, because I knew them, they'd come in, they'd be like, oh, hey, what's up? And they would literally just chill with me, and we'd, like, have some drinks and just talk and laugh. And then, I'd get some dances, and sometimes I'd be like, all right, like, do I have to get a dance? And she'd be like, oh, no, I don't care right now. You know what I mean? Sometimes they didn't care if they have a dance or not, because we were laughing and having a good time, Because I treated them like a person.
Exactly.
You know
They're
what I
human
mean?
beings.
I treated them like a person. They, like, wanted to, like, actually hang out with me regardless. So, like, some of my other coworkers who were treating them like, different like people and whatever, they'd be mad because I'd have a bunch of girls sitting at my table, like, I'd be getting them drinks and stuff, and we'd be having a good time, and they'd be like, how come they're not sitting on my lap and talking to me? I'd be
I'm
like,
treating them like a human being.
Yeah, because you're just treating them weird. Like, what?
Yeah.
Moral of the story, Alex is a baller.
Alex is a baller. Yeah.
Hey, it's in my budget.
It's in his budget.
It's in my budget. Oh yeah, you knew me when I had hair too, so.
Huh?
Yeah. I watched the podcast the other day where you guys are talking about not remembering you with hair, and I feel that way too. I don't remember.
That's good.
Good though.
It's like, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
It works. That means it works. Otherwise, people are like, "Ooh, he's bald now."
He's
you know what I
reached-
mean?
yeah.
It's not that.
He's reached his ultimate self.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, you always have hair. You got the good hair. I do like the short hair look. When a girl can pull off the short
Yeah, it's
hair look,
nice.
I really like it.
Appreciate it.
So,
Yeah,
let's
it's
say-
like if you can pull it off type of situation.
Yeah.
I would say that Staub is like the baller who it's in his budget. And if I'm invited, I'm like, can I just shadow? Is that okay? I just want to learn.
Yeah.
I want to learn how to do that. You know?
Yeah, and then I'll go up to the bouncer and be like, this guy's not paying for anything right
No, wait, I swear I
now.
have
He's
money.
not paying for anything right now.
You gotta bring Kirk to a strip club after this.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Read the rules. Be like, all right, am I treating them like humans?
Yeah,
Good.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, Natalie, I'm learning so much.
Yeah, well, another branch that we want to extend this podcast to is, we learn and we learn from you in the studio, and then we have like a whole separate like vlog about that episode of like
trying
us
it out
in the strip club, and we're just like, okay, check 1, don't insult the ancestors. 2, do not insult the ancestors. 3, tip it. It's just
No Diet Coke allowed.
It's just really just
Don't embarrass your ancestors.
exactly.
Yeah.
Just 2 big rules: don't embarrass your ancestors and
treat him like a human being.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you read out my tips, it makes it sound so angry, and I think it's so funny.
No, it's great. No, these are good.
Oh my gosh. Well,
Yeah.
speaking of, let's move on to tip number 2.
Number 2,
The
top 2.
Top 2. Every girl has her own rules about how she likes to conduct herself. So ask first if you can touch her, and don't just assume that she's okay with being touched.
Right.
That's like just human decency, I think. Anyway, moving on. Before you consider breaking any kind of boundary, ask first. And if she makes a boundary clear up front, then don't keep pretending to try breaking don't keep pretending to try breaking it in the name of romantic interest. In our minds, it's not romantic. We're doing our job. That actually brings up like a great point. I mean, so much of this is like you and so many of the other people that you work with. This is a job, and it is 100% justified. It's a job.
Yeah.
And
I know a lot of guys will just walk in, and the first girl they'll see, they're like, "Oh my god!" And they they think they could just go and grab them and touch them and whatnot. This is the one thing that I hate in the clubs that I've seen guys do is when like they'll walk in and they'll see a girl walk by and they'll immediately like grab their hand and like pull them towards them.
Oh no.
And just be like,
no.
oh, and the girl and I'm like, dude, what do you think? What positive outcome do you think is gonna come from that? Just grabbing someone and yanking them to you? That's not that. See, that was always wrong.
A no yanking allowed.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah.
But in the VIP room, it is very hard not to touch. It goes against all of our instincts, 100%.
The club you were at was kind of like that, though. It was kind of dirty. Like it was like.
Oh, it was dirty, but a lot of the times for the girls, right? If I'm right, it just depends on you and your comfortability with the guy and what you want, and maybe some guys you're like, you know what, he's I like him, he's okay, he could touch me a little bit, and then that's okay. And then some guys you're like, don't even look at me. Don't even look at me.
You make them pay $100 extra to touch you when it's like that.
Wow.
See, that's smart. That's smart.
There's little tricks up the sleeve. Yeah.
There's also, I will tell you this. There's also some girls out there who, and I've fallen. See, this is weird to admit here, but I've been in situations where I'm multiple drinks in, out with the buddies, we're having a good time, and one of the girls who I've been getting dances with, like kind of outside the VIP area all night, is like, oh, let's go to the VIP area. And if we go there, then I'll do, extra stuff with you, or I'll do this to you, or blah, 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 blah. And then I'm like, oh, okay. But my dumb ass is like, okay, well, yeah, let's do it, right? And so I'll go back there, and then thinking, like, all this stuff is going to happen that she said. And then she's like, oh, no, what are you talking about? No, don't even touch me. And then I'm like, and then she's like, okay, tip me. And I'm like, okay, and then still nothing will happen, and then a dance will be over, and then I'll be like, wait, what? And so,
Yeah, you're telling everyone our secrets.
Oh,
no!
I'm just telling you, friend. This is. Oh, that was just a. You know what? It worked. She got me in the VIP room.
She got you in the VIP room. You said
It worked. She got me in the
She
VIP
got the
room.
money.
I'm not a big fan of doing that. I'm not a big fan of the bait and switch personally.
Yeah.
Because you gotta kind of keep a good brand as a stripper. Like,
That was the thing. So then the next time I went there and she came up to me and was like, "Oh, hey, want to dance? Want to go in the VIP room?" And I was like, "No, never again, you dirty snake."
You sneaky little snake.
Absolutely. And then she's like, "Oh, whatever." And then I feel like I'm like, "Wait, I got bamboozled. What are you talking about?"
But
there's like a level where it's okay to kind of like upcharge, maybe like add a little bit of a fee here and there, but just flat out lying does not work long term, I don't think.
no, because
unless you're somewhere
because
like Vegas.
Yeah, the clubs who have regulars, you know, they'll come back and they'll be like, all these girls are just not like they're just scamming me. You know, it's not. At least scam me without me realizing it, you know, or like finding out. You know what I mean?
Like one of the big things that I'm learning from this tip is like you have to respect the stripper's rules, but also that stripper has a specific like standard that they operate by,
Right.
and you I'm sure all of you and the girls that you work with, they have a standard of how they work and stuff, and it's ebbing and flowing and
Yeah, no, everyone has their own way of doing business. Everyone has their own like limits of what they'll do, and like how much some people they're like, don't touch my butt ever, like that's their limit. But they're fine, like it's just everyone has their thing and everyone has what they're comfortable with. But a lot of guys will just assume that like because at one club they could touch or they could do something, like they can do it at another one, and it's like the one I work at is no touch, so it's much different than the.
Is it the same one? Is it the same one?
No, it's not. I moved clubs because of this issue, because Curves is just very like, if every girl is like doing a certain level of whatever, you kind of have to match that, because it's like, why would they pick you as a dancer if some other girl's gonna like, let them do something kind of illegal, whatever. You know what I mean? It's just like, if they're bringing it to that level, then yeah, Kirk's like, oh my God. But if they're bringing it to that level, then you have to kind of like, your own boundaries get eroded over time, because you're at this club where the level and the boundaries aren't kept like really strict.
right.
And like clubs come across this issue a lot, which is why the club I'm at is like pretty strict about stuff like that. And if you're caught, doing certain things, you'll get, kicked out.
Right.
So.
of course.
Yeah, there you go.
Makes sense.
Yeah, have a little. So you
Decency.
I respect that, where you like are actually respecting the job and the profession and doing it in like a less dirty way than like some people take it,
Wait, pause. I'm okay with girls doing what they got to do, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, of course,
yeah.
You just got to respect what club you're at and what the limits are. So if you're the one girl who's messing up the ecosystem, people are gonna put water in your shoes. You're gonna get bullied like out of the building because you're messing up the level that we all have to go.
Yeah.
Well, it's got to be like a trickle-down thing. It's like the club and then the girls, and how the girls react will affect this and this and this, and then the customers and whether they're confused or.
Management is like the core of it, which is why one day I want to open a strip club and be very like, protective of the girls. But
That's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Can I be the DJ? Can we be the DJs?
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the main
Coming
stage.
to the main stage.
LilithRising.
Woo!
I think that would be perfect.
We would have fun up in that booth.
Yeah, we do the
we
music.
would have a
I
good
would
time with
just
that booth.
do the announcing.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
Hey, creeper out there who is just staring and drinking his Diet Coke.
Table 6, you are disrespecting your ancestors.
They're rolling in their grave.
Table 7, disrespecting your ancestors. Table 3, disrespecting your ancestors. This next song goes out to Table 6, disrespecting your ancestors. Sponsored by Diet Pepsi.
Sponsored by Diet
Sponsored
Pepsi.
by Diet Pepsi.
For what?
Sponsored by. Oh my god. One of the DJs at my club, no one was tipping on stage. It was a Friday night, really, really packed, right? No one was tipping. He goes, "All right, everyone, get your dollars out. This isn't a fucking zoo."
If you want to go to the Arizona Zoo, then you go to the zoo. This ain't no zoo, sir.
And then I felt really self-conscious because I like looked at everyone on stage and I was like, this does kind of remind me of a zoo.
Okay.
Get out those.
Okay.
Just became really dark. And then I was like, I have money. But yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I love
Table
it.
3, visit the gift shop and get out.
Sponsored by your ancestors.
Yeah. Go buy your ancestor stuffed animals.
Table 7, your family photo is available at
Family
the
photo.
Of all the ghosts just looking really angry.
All the ghosts, yeah.
Mulan is in the back,
Mulan. Oh my
staring at a pond.
Oh my god.
Who is that? Guys,
Hey, we're at the number one tip.
we're at number 1.
We're having
Guys,
so much fun here. This is great.
get your dollars ready. Get your drinks ready.
We're at the number 1 tip, baby. Have you been tipping? We've been tipping.
Respect those gals.
We've been tossing out tips for you. That's right. We're at the number 1 tip. So this is gonna sound corny, but have fun, everybody. Okay?
All right.
The number 1 tip is to have fun. Be positive, uplifted, have your fun night out while being respectful, staying within the boundaries of social decency.
Mm-hmm.
We are here to make your night fun, and we're happy to ride that wave with you, so keep that in mind. Vibes are everything. If you're there because your girlfriend broke up with you, well, we're there to hear you while you vent and also while you pay us, okay?
Well, you pay
Exactly.
us to be your therapist.
Yeah, that's the whole part of the place, to have fun. And you
Yeah.
can have fun if you like stay within the limits of things. That's where you go anywhere. You don't go to laser tag and you're like, I'm gonna have a blast, and just start actually punching, hitting people with the gun.
That's not how you
don't-
play.
yeah, you don't
laser
start.
tag.
You don't start beating people up because you just think you're in a different world and it's okay. You know what I mean? Same thing with the strip club.
Is red or blue winning? I think
Exactly.
Jeffrey
I
is.
think
He's
Jeffrey-
going buck
Call
wild and
the
just
hospital.
punching everybody.
Exactly. It's like any other place. You can go, when you go to a bar. You can't just go to a bar and then just start beating people up or going behind the thing and making your own drinks. You can have fun, but
Yeah.
know the rules. Be respectful.
Yeah.
And you have more fun.
And I think I think it was so important, Natalie, that you put this as like the last one to read, because the way that you're gonna have fun is like, sometimes you have to listen to some rules and
Yeah.
have some decency and just respect yourself and the people there to then have fun. It's same with so many places.
The funny thing about all these rules is that it's all very you could definitely come up with it yourself. It's very common sense.
it's not. They're not. Yeah, it's just common sense. It's not even rules.
That's what's so
They're
funny.
just-
Yeah, it's
Just it's a reminder to have common sense because people's brains just out the window.
Well, that's
Of course.
to be fair, whenever I see a naked girl, if I went into the place and there's just naked women walking around, sometimes a couple cords get disconnected. You know what I mean?
Right, Alex. So I'm here to tell you to remind yourself to take your brain, put it back in your head, at least partially.
yeah.
Exactly. Tape those cords down.
Those cords, those synapses,
Tape
those
them down.
neurons back
Keep
together.
them. Your person, their people. Be respectful.
And be sure to not connect the drink ordering to the Diet Pepsi neuron.
Exactly.
Do it.
Exactly. No, well, thankfully I've been good and have never been disrespectful and always have a good time and do pretty well, in the strip club.
Yeah. This was so.
He was the corner man for a while. I call it the corner man. Someone like the guy who you actually kind of want to talk to and hang out with a little bit, and then you kind of go back to.
Staub was?
You just stop with Alex. You chat a little bit. You're like, that was a fun time. and then you go off and
Yeah, every time you like
I'm here
walk
for
by,
you
we'd
girls.
have some. Yeah, we'd have something funny to say every time we like walk by each other or whatever.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, Natalie,
Hey, well, those are the top 5 tips, everybody.
on how to strip club.
Hey. Did you write them down?
I sure hope so.
Table 3, I see you with that Diet Pepsi. Table 3, your ancestors are hurting.
They're watching.
They're watching. Remember, everyone, your ancestors are watching you.
They're watching to make
Yeah.
sure that you're a decent human being. Guys,
Yeah.
thanks for watching.
Thank you for
the
watching.
Men and Doozy
A
podcast.
big shout out to Natalie Young,
Yes.
LilithRising. Thank you for being on the show and teaching us all this stuff. Seriously.
Yeah.
thanks for having me. This is super fun.
So if you wanna plug out all your stuff real quick, tell the people where we can check you out here.
Yeah.
All right. So on Instagram, I'm LilithRising_. On TikTok, same thing. YouTube, just LilithRising. And then I am starting back up my podcast with my friend who's also a stripper. Her name is Monet. And we'll be doing this podcast called Strippy Hose. So I'm going to talk to you about Spotify and all that after this.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love it.
absolutely.
Strippy Hose.
Reach out to them. Yeah, we can help you with whatever. And if you want,
Absolutely.
if you need us as guests on the podcast,
Please.
we'll jump on.
Because we're skilled, obviously, now.
We are pros now.
We're pros. We're pros.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, for Men a Doozy information, go to YouTube and subscribe. Go to Instagram because that's where all the
That's
action's
where all
happening.
the fun is at. Guys,
Yeah.
and be sure to share it with your friends. We're available on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, Google. We're about to be on Pandora.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
really exciting.
Yeah.
And if there are tips in the future that you want to learn about, like, let us know. We'll
teach you while we also learn. Yeah, it makes sense to
And
me.
guys, this was just the start of something great.
Yeah.
We're so happy to have had
Give it up
Natalie.
to our first guest here. We're
Our
going to have
first
a lot
guest.
more guests coming on to teach us so that we can learn and teach you in return.
Guys, keep tipping.
And don't
be
disrespect
weird.
your ancestors.
Don't disrespect
for
your
God's
elders.
sake. Do not disrespect your ancestors.
Be a decent human
And order
being.
an actual drink. Don't get a Diet Pepsi. God damn it. Treat people like a human being and tip. Tip, 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 tip.
Tip, tip, tip.
Tip.
Bye, everybody.
And if it's not in your budget, get out.
Love
Get
you
out
guys.
there. Love you, everyone.
Have a good one.